Hello there, Ray here, and today we will be looking at 14 secrets to do with the new powder snow. If you guys don't know what's all new in the snapshot, make sure you guys watch my snapshot review video to go over the basics, because in this video we're going to be looking at all the weird things you can do with it. And if you're wondering about the other stuff that was added in 1.17 from the prior snapshot, I'll also link that video down below. Right as the new snapshot came out for 1.17, we opened up a testing world where you guys could join me, and we streamed a 5-hour long live stream of us testing all the new things that can be done with the new powder snow. Thanks everybody who participated in that stream. And if you'd like to take part in future streams, make sure to follow me there on Twitch. Links are down below. I stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And subscribe because I'll be doing a lot more testing videos like this in the future. Now let's get into all the secrets with the powder snow. Just like you could dispense a bucket of water from a dispenser and pick it up, you can also do this with the new powder snow bucket. So you can dispense it. Now there's empty, and then you can also power it again and pick it back up. Now as the player gets closer to freezing, the FOV shrinks inward. And once this occurs, once you leave the snow, your player will move very slowly. And after he starts to thaw out, he starts to move faster and faster until it's normal again. Mobs can spawn inside of it because it doesn't have a collision, and it'll automatically damage them. So this is kind of alternative to the farm designs that we made for the magma blocks, where mobs will spawn on those, since they no longer do spawn on magma blocks. This is obviously a lot slower though, but the mobs don't actually spawn on top of it. They're spawning on the block that's underneath, since snow blocks don't have the top surface for mobs to spawn on. It's a transparent block, so placed above stuff like chests, you can still open the chest. It also doesn't support any blocks, and redstone can't go through it. You also cannot put snow layers on top of it. But some blocks that aren't picky about how they're supported, like carpet, can go on top of them. Mobs have no problem going through the snow layers to get to things on the other side. But when it comes to having the powder snow in the ground, they don't try to walk over top of it. So they won't go after this turtle egg here. If I would replace this, you can see he'll go after it now. Some mobs like zombies will be so willing to go after a villager, they will fall into powdered snow. Now most mobs are not able to escape the powder snow, but iron golems have no problem walking out of it. Horses also can walk out of it. I think it's their ability to easily walk up one high blocks. But oddly enough, horse wearing leather armor won't protect them from freezing and taking that freezing damage, where when player wears leather armor, it does help them. To his awesomeness, notice that in the code, some mobs were immune from falling into the powder snow. That is rabbits, silverfish, and endermites, probably due to them being so light and small. Now some mobs that you think could be resistance to the cold, like polar bears, strays, and snow golems, will actually still take damage from freezing to death. Same goes for the snow fox. This might change in the future. Mobs that we see as being very fiery, like magma cubes or blazes, don't actually take any extra damage other than the normal freezing damage. Projectiles will go through the powder snow without being affected by it. Flame arrows also go through without being extinguished. But there seems to be something weird to do with fishing rods. They're not really a projectile. They do get pulled into it and slowly reach the bottom. After you do send a fishing rod through, you can see the fishing rod is broken every time you scroll over top of it. Right now there's no line hooked to it. It just looks like I have a stick holding in my hand. Every time you leave it, it looks normal, and you go back to it. So some visual bug that they'll probably have to fix. Now it is possible for the player to be inside of lava and inside of powder snow, so you can actually start to freeze while he's on fire. You can see I am completely froze and I got the frozen hearts, yet I'm also on fire. But if you are on fire, you can use the powder snow to put you out, similar to like water. And the powder snow inside of a cauldron can also put out flames, but it will reduce the level by 1. This is pretty cool, but since powder snow is so hard to get, it's still easier to use water. But you don't have to worry about freezing if you're inside of a cauldron full of powdered snow, which is a bit different than the cauldron full of lava, which does damage you. Now the powdered snow doesn't actually melt with heat or high light level near it. I think this is a good thing because snow layers can be really annoying to work with because of their restrictions. When zombies are inside of snow, they actually don't take any damage from the sun. They will eventually freeze to death. Gravity blocks like sand can sit on top of it. They can also fall through it when they are an entity. And if they fall directly inside of it, they will pop off as an item. All entities pretty much fall through it, like minecarts, boats, even items will fall through it slowly. But if you first put some leather boots on an armor stand, they will no longer fall through it. Same thing goes for other mobs that have boots on. They won't fall into it, but they do seem to have some pathfinding issues where they will spin around in circles. And using that trick that I discovered back in the day, you can even put leather boots onto villagers, and then they won't be able to fall through the snow. But they still seem to have some pathfinding issues. with the leather boots used for snowshoes actually changes the set in which a player might go for to get all the different benefits in the game Minecraft. The turtle helmet gives the water breathing effect, Elytra is for flight, and the gold leggings is to keep piglins from automatically attacking you. It'll be interesting to see if people actually add leather boots into their normal armor sets. Now, moving on blue ice can be extremely fast, but if you put powder snow on top of it, you end up moving extremely slow. And this could end up being the slowest way to move in Minecraft. But there are some pretty steep contenders if you guys have seen my video on slowest way to travel in Minecraft. And you guys showed me that if you have Thorns armor on armor stands, it can actually hurt the player. And this wasn't the case when I did the video showcasing all the different things that armor can do on different entities. Now, you can't make snow golems using the new powder snow. It's also not a block that can be pushed, and slime doesn't stick to it. Liquids also destroy it when they hit it, and it doesn't drop anything. You can't use like Silk Touch shovels to obtain anything from it, or any other tool, and shovels don't actually mine it any faster. The cool thing with powder snow is that since it doesn't have a collision box, you can place it directly inside of you, similar to like cobwebs. And when you're inside of it, you can click like on the block that you're inside of by pointing downwards and it'll place one above you. Or you can place one on the back side of this and it'll place one behind you, kind of similar to scaffolding. Now, if there is an air block underneath of the powder snow, you can actually make a 1 meter jump to escape it. With your leather boots on, you can go inside of it and just hold the spacebar and climb up it, kind of like vines or scaffolding. There's also levels inside of the snow, so you can go up and then you go back down, and now you're sitting on top of like this layer right here. And then just like scaffolding, you can hold shift to go down to next layer or up. It reminds me a lot like scaffolding, but a little bit slower. Powder snow is also similar to cobwebs, where it will stop all fall damage. Frostwalker enchanted boots have no effect on the powder snow. Powder snow does not affect beacon beams. Now, powder snow does have this Minecraft tag called Snow Step Sound Blocks, but you cannot actually find this tag inside of the creative menu. And it doesn't seem to be related to note blocks either, as having note block over top of powder snow produces a harp instrument, which is the same as one over top of air. There is a funny visual bug that occurs when the player gets absorption and he starts taking damage from the powder snow. Take a look at the hearts, the little gold hearts. See how once they become frozen, they use the wrong type of texture. And it looks pretty weird. Now you can also use a command to place down the powder snow block, but it's not in the creative menu. The blast resistance of this stuff is very low. You also can't use water bottles, empty bottles, or splash water bottles on it. Now, placing powder snow on top of grass doesn't make this a snowy grass, similar to what you would see with like snow layer on top. It also doesn't kill the grass. The mobs could spawn directly inside of the snow layer and then die from freezing, but it would be a pretty slow death. So here we have powder snow and here we have cobwebs. If you break this, you can see the big difference between how much slower cobwebs are, how much faster powder snow is. So it will be nice to use in some redstone delays. And all these things can be done in another dimension, so you can use this to easily put out fire. And this is actually an infinite source, unlike the cauldrons, but it's very hard to come by. Since it reduces fall damage, you can do MLG powder snow bucket inside of the nether dimension. They also changed what it looks like when you look through a spyglass. Now it's very squarish. You can also see the coppery ridge of it, and the little sunspots are also very squarish. And this feels more Minecrafty than the circle one. Also gives you a bigger view to see through. You can still press F1 to see the entire screen. And during testing, it was noticed that if you press the left mouse button and then the right mouse button, you can kind of do a wave with the telescope in your hand. The spyglass also looks much better when players use it in multiplayer. There is quite a few bugs in the snapshot, like the wax copper being able to oxidize. And in the last video where I talked about how copper oxidizes on a random tick, Eli looked into the Minecraft code and how this occurs. What it does every time you place in a block, it will assign that block a random amount of ticks between 1.2 million and 1.9 million. Then every game tick, the game will check this list to see if the number that's associated with the copper block matches the current world clock. And if it does, then it'll just convert it over to the next stage. So by having the block inside of loaded chunks, it will eventually change over. With the new visuals of the bundles, you can make some pretty cool pixel art with it. A strange trick that you guys showed me, if you break a sign and place a sign, you can actually make it not have the UI pop up where you normally would type in. This is easier to pull off in multiplayer. There is so many cool things that you can do in 1.17. If there's anything else that you think that we should test, let me know down in the comments, and I'll put it in the next video. During our live stream, we also designed up a bunch of different type of powder snow farms using the mechanics where snowfall will fill up the cauldron and they can be scooped up by the player. Make sure you guys are subscribed as well as notifications turned on so you can see those videos when they come out. You might have not known, but I actually have my own Discord where we talk about future ideas as well as other cool things about Minecraft. Make sure you guys join that. I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!